So hello folks, and thanks for coming to digitalstartuplifestyle.com today. We're also DSL Mag across the internet. I have a funny today just for you to consider. What was the first soup? Well, of course, it was primordial soup. All right, now, on to a little bit more seriousness here. Now, this is serious, and I don't want you to think I'm rambling on, but be patient and follow along, because I have to pre-qualify what I'm going to say with a little background. I want to expand on an encouraging message I put out there several weeks ago, and it was entitled, "You Can't Fail If You Don't Quit." Now, I've heard a lot of comments about this, and I personally receive a lot of questions, and I think perhaps some folks didn't want to embarrass me or call me out on something that they might disagree with in some way. So let me clarify that whole sentiment here. Encouragement and inspiration to move forward is not to quit. And nobody likes to fail, but you can't say your entrepreneurship, your business, your venture, your adventure was a failure. Hard stop. You can't say it was a failure, emphasize that word failure, if you quit. Moving forward and doing nothing or wallowing in your negativity and feelings of failure does not help you get up and keep climbing the stairs and moving upward and onward. So let me further clarify this with some positive language, and I don't want to sound like a big league sports coach, but the reality is, and I guess I will have to make some kind of sports analogy, here it is. If you want to ride a motorcycle in the U.S., crowded roads, interstate high speeds, poor drivers, dangerous traffic, variable weather conditions, etc., you have to plan for the inevitable. Plan to fall off. You have to plan on getting hit. You have to plan on having an accident. You have to plan on a collision, hitting a tree, hitting the pavement, having a vehicle run over you. You must be prepared for this. Now, really, there's only so much you can do, but having some appropriate safety equipment might mitigate some of the risks. Not to embolden you to be overly confident that will ultimately get you killed, but you've got to have a plan. You must be prepared with plans B, C, and maybe D, which translate to sharpening your driving skills. Learn to drive down the road better. Drive ahead and try to avoid conflict or dangerous situations. But we all know sometimes that just can't be helped. We as entrepreneurs cannot be completely preoccupied planning for failure or the inevitable. We cannot be afraid of failure. Let me repeat that we cannot be afraid of failure to the point of being immobilized with fear and indecision. You have to accept that there's a possibility you're playing a losing game with not enough ROI, return on investment, and you have to pivot, sidestep, or totally reinvent your strategy and keep moving. So on to other coaching related activities that allow you to continue to move forward so you don't fall flat on your face to the point of immobilization and you're paralyzed by a hiccup or perhaps a complete implosion of whatever your plan was. So you have to embrace, and I don't mean embrace in a good way, the reality, the possibility of some kind of failure and breakdown. You have to have a plan for it. You have to recognize the possibility that it's there. So again, I encourage you to move forward, always keep moving and doing. And because you're on an upward arc, doesn't mean you're going to keep walking up the steps nonstop. You might very well trip here and there, but you're going to keep moving forward. And when you fall up the stairs, falling up versus falling down, you can't help but stay forward, and your head is going to be above your feet, even if you fall up the stairs. Entrepreneurs fall up. Thanks for considering this today, and I hope I've clarified and not spoken too much about the response to my "you can't fail if you don't quit" encouragement messages in social media. Stay interesting, my friends. Keep going, and have a great and productive week, lifestylers. For more on this subject, visit digitalstartuplifestyle.com with an interesting, in-depth magazine story.